Hey guys, Gavin here, and tonight I will be reacting to BYU's 34-20 win over Utah State. And for me, I believe this is a huge win for BYU, and here's why. Utah State has been a really good team this year. I mean, they upset Washington State on the road. I mean, even though Washington State is winless right now, I still think that's a quality win for Utah State. And then they beat North Dakota, who is usually one of the best Division II. But I know they're Division II, but they are usually generally one of the better Division II programs. Blew them out 48-24. Then they go on the road and beat Air Force 49-45. They lose to Boise State 27-3, but if you were watching that game, Utah State kept turning the ball over on fourth down. They were moving the ball, and it especially shows with the yards they were putting up. I mean, they had Tyler Jr., who put up 20 carries for 126 yards, and then Logan Bonner, 11 for 25, 173 yards, even though he had 2 interceptions. So turnovers were the issue on fourth down and Logan Bonner's interceptions. But Utah State was still, and then BYU blew them out at home. Tyler Algier had a monster performance, 23 carries, 214 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then Baylor Romney also had a really good game from the air. So he threw 15 for 19, and he threw for 187 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And I think overall that was just a really good game. And then as we look, pardon me, I'm just looking through, making sure I got my stats right. But overall, we are looking at a really good BYU team. And once they get their quarterback, Jaren Hall, back, I think BYU is going to make a case for why they should play in the New Year's Six Bowl games. Yep, I'm going to be bold enough to say that BYU is contenders for the New Year's Six Bowl games. And here's why. They will have Boise State at home, starting 5-0, and if Utah State was able to move a ball against them, I think BYU will be able to. And they will be at home. I will be at that game, as I have season tickets to the BYU games. And I think that BYU could beat Boise State. Of course, granted, I think Boise State can beat BYU too, and it will be a close game, as Boise State is a good team. They are. Anybody who says they aren't clearly doesn't watch college football. Boise State is a good football team. Their losses come from UCF, who is always competitive if you watch college football, and then Oklahoma State, who is right now 4-0. And then I think that Boise State will be, if BYU beats them at home, that will be a quality win. BYU goes to Baylor. Now, Baylor, I'm not sure BYU will be able to win at, to be honest. That game could also go either way. But then they head to Washington State. Then they'll take on Virginia at home. Now, that one could be a tricky one, too. Though I think if BYU can beat Arizona State, and if they beat Boise State, and if they beat in Arizona State and Utah, who are both going to probably make their risings in the next 2 weeks, I then believe that BYU could beat Virginia and Boise State at home. They can definitely beat Washington State. Baylor is a question mark. They will certainly beat Idaho State. Then they travel to Georgia Southern, which I certainly think they will beat. Excuse me, I worded that poorly. And then BYU will take on USC at USC at the end of the year. And we don't know how USC will look at that point, as USC is down on their quarterbacks right now. So their play is going to be confusing for the next little bit. So my question marks right now are, can they beat Washington State, and can they beat Baylor and USC? But everything else I see as a win for BYU. I mean, BYU has themselves a solid schedule, I think, to build a really good resume for competing against these schools. And I think that it bodes well for BYU, and I think they will be a New Year's Six team. I don't think they will be college football. Maybe if they go undefeated, they might be able to be college football contenders, but playoff contenders. But I think that BYU is a New Year's Six contender for sure. And once they get Jaron Hall, they will just keep rolling, as they have been such a good team this year. Nobody was expecting BYU to be this good. Hardly anybody, except for BYU fans probably. Though BYU has been a stunner, and they are just going to keep rolling. I think they will finish 11-1 or 10-2, and I think they should be favorites to go into the New Year's Six bowl game, whichever one they end up in, I guess. But I think BYU should certainly be contenders for the New Year's Six bowl game, and I am very proud of BYU. I like what I'm seeing from their defense was a concern in the last game, but then those question marks were answered when they played against Utah State. I certainly was not, like I said, BYU kind of gave me a heart attack in the Southern Florida game, but they certainly took care of business in this game. And I think BYU is looking good, as they will take on Boise State next week at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time. I look forward to going to that game, as I've been able to go to all the BYU games this year, and I think that BYU is looking poised for an amazing season again, and stay tuned. Watch out for them. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's just my initial reaction to BYU right now. If video suggestions, just let me know. And how can I improve? Let me know down below. And I hope you guys have a great night.